Okay, good evening, guys. How are you doing today? Good evening, online. Good evening. Okay, so let's jump on. So, what did we discuss in our last class? Auto scaling and load balancer. Quick shootout. So, you know very well what is auto scaling. Scale out, scale in, EC2 instances based on the load. And do you remember we have something called minimum, maximum, and desired capacity? So, desired capacity meaning what? Initially, how many EC2 instances that you wish or desire to launch is called desired capacity, and minimum and maximum are boundaries. Minimum and maximum are boundaries. And then we discuss about there are three types of scaling options. What are those? Manual scaling, schedule scaling, dynamic scaling. Very good. Manual scaling meaning you're modifying the DC values, and schedule scaling based on the time and period of the day, and dynamic scaling based on the load. So which one is suggestible? Dynamic scaling. And then based on what auto scaling group will launch EC2 instance? Based on what? Very good. Based on launch template, or you can call it as launch configuration. Both are same. What does this launch template contain? The 7-step, all the configuration. And your application, where does the application will sit? In AMI. In where? AMI. So in AMI, you have your application. So auto scaling group will launch EC2 instance with that AMI. So automatically that EC2 instance will contain your application inside it. Good. So if required, can you go ahead and then use integrate SNS? What is SNS? Simple notification service. Okay. And then we discuss about the load balancer. So what is load balancer? Which distribute the traffic to multiple EC2 instances across availability zones. See, this load balancer is completely managed by AWS. Load balancer is a service or a server? It's a service. How do you access the load balancer? Using DNS name. Does the load balancer has an IP address? Yes, but those are dynamic or static? Dynamic. So is it recommended to use the load balancer with the IP address or with the DNS name? With the DNS name. Very nice. So basically there are, how many types of load balancers are there? 4 types. What are those? Classic load balancer, application load balancer, network load balancer, gateway load balancer. Which one is previous generation? Classic. And classic supports which protocol? HTTP, HTTPS, and TCP. So which one is the default choose load balancer? Application. Which one is always recommended? Application load balancer itself. And works on which protocol? HTTP and HTTPS. And and network. So network, can we say that network load balancer is for extreme high performance? Yes. And it works on the network level and works on which protocol? TCP and UDP. And does the network load balancer support static IPs? Yes or no? Yes. How many? Hmm? One static IP per availability zone. One static IP per availability zone. Okay. And and gateway load balancer. So gateway load balancer is for third-party security appliance and works on which protocol? Protocol. Gateway port number 6081. And in application load balancer, we have something separately called routing features. What are the routing features? Host-based routing, path-based routing, string parameter routing, etc. We have so many. And in application load balancer, we will create target groups. Yes or no? We'll create a target groups. Can we create rules for the application load balancer? Based on the rule, we can redirect the traffic to the target group. What does the target group contain? Targets. What are the targets meaning here? EC2 instances. What does the EC2 instance contain? Application. And also we discuss a path-based routing, no? If you have slash something, so based on that also we can redirect that to the target groups. Fantastic. So this is what we have discussed in our last class. And let us move on to today's topic. Hmm? Hmm. So could you please clarify the following? Margaret is asking the questions. Could you please provide the real-time scenario of when to choose auto-scaling elasticity? Wow. Whatever we are, first of all, why you are getting this word called real-time scenario? Whatever we are discussing real-time only or not? Whatever the examples that I take also, it's related to the real-time only. Okay. Okay, let me explain. Could you please provide the real-time scenario when to choose auto-scaling and elasticity? Both are same or different? Same. So the question itself is wrong. So if the question is related to auto scaling and scalability, then it is different. So to answer that, how do you achieve elasticity in AWS using auto scaling? Yes or no? When do we use auto scaling? The yesterday concept is that about auto scaling only. So if you have 4 EC2, let's say you have few EC2 instances, but generally if you get a huge load, heavy traffic, that few 4 EC2 instances will be sufficient? No. So based on the load, automatically you need to increase the number of servers. Would you increase the number of servers? Would you increase the capacity of the server? Increase the number of servers. No. Let's say you have 4 EC2 instance which is having 4 GB RAM. Which is having 4 GB RAM. And you got to know that there is a huge traffic. Will you stop the EC2 instance and change the instance type from T2 small to T2 medium? Is that possible? Not possible. In the runtime, it is not possible. For that, in that case, which one we should use? Auto scaling you need to use. So when do you use scalability? Scalability meaning, let's say you have a standalone machine. That means which is used in a real time, but it's not from the application point of view. Let's back end like databases. Let's say you have some servers which is used by you. So in that case, let's say if we take a database server, if the database server has 8 GB RAM and people are complaining you saying that database server is very slow, what do you do? Will you add a new database server or will you increase the capacity of the server? Increase the capacity of the server. No, from 8 GB to 32 GB, you'll increase it. So why not adding a new server? Adding a new database server is not easy and it's not a joke. Because the database server has a lot of databases and you need to do the writes will be happening on the database, correct? If you have 2 databases, then if you have 2 servers, then where the application should write? First server, second server. We have the confusion. They need to set up something called replication. So there's so many things will be there. So for those kind of things, scalability will come into picture. Did we discuss this already or not? Yeah, we have already discussed this. Next question. What is the difference between auto scaling and scalability? The one which we have used just now. So the first question is invalid. Second one is correct. And that is the what I have answered it. Since they sound similar, I'm getting confused with the organ. There is nothing called confusion here. So you have to just concentrate a little bit more. So do you have any confusion between elasticity and scalability? No confusion. This is as a part of basics we have learned. If you have concentrated on those days, now it will become easy. So elasticity meaning, how do you achieve elasticity in AWS? Using auto scaling. How do you achieve scalability in AWS? By changing the instance type. So if you have T2 micro, and if you want to increase, if you want to do the scalability, change the T2 micro to T2 small or medium or large, whichever it is. What is that called? Scalability. Elasticity meaning, how do you achieve it? Using auto scaling, no? Yesterday and now also I have discussed about that. So number 4, to change the instance type, is stopping and starting the instance only option, or it can be done automatically? This one also we have discussed. So in order to do the, if in order to change the instance type, can you change while EC2 is running? No, what you need to do? You need to stop and change it. Is there any other, we need to have a downtime for it. But if you have only one server, so let's say, for example, you might have a question, sir, if I want to change the instance type, I need downtime. This application will go down or not? GT, you will have only one server in real time. You'll be having multiple servers. That means high availability concept is there, no? So you need to architect in a real time in your company such a way that your architecture should be highly available. Did we discuss about high availability or not? What is the 3 fundamental rules of high availability? Fundamental rules of high availability: redundancy, monitoring, failover. So redundancy meaning what? Minimum how many situations should be there? 2. Can we have more? 3, 4, 10, 200 also? You can have. So if you have these many machines, if you stop and start one machine, is there any effect? Do you remember we discussed about the architectures also? Whether this architecture is highly available or not? Okay. So who is that? Margaret, these are all the answers for your questions. Okay. Nice. So let's move on to today's topic, which is called, you know, how I have explained that's how you should explain to the interviews also. Whatever we have discussed now, I have explained, you know that already or not? Right? If any interviewer Pusuk asks these questions, just AK and Maxen to his, like, you know, you need to answer that. Pada to the questions, right? Okay. Next, types of IPs. What's the concept? Types of IPs. So mainly there are 3 types of IPs are there. How many types of IPs? 3 types. Number 1, public IP. Number 2, eh, number 2, private IP. Very good. Should I take one more question? Let's take. How does the scaling happens in auto scaling when demand goes down after scaling up? So scale out and scaling will done automatically, will happen automatically or not? So once we have created auto scaling group, we have given minimum, maximum, and desired capacity. For example, how much is desired capacity? 4 we have given yesterday. Maximum 6, minimum 2. So while setting up auto scaling group, what we need to do? We need to tell auto scaling group, Babu, hey, auto scaling group. Do you remember 3 scaling options are there? Manual scaling, schedule scaling, dynamic scaling. Which one is suggestible? Dynamic. So if you go to dynamic, you need to tell to auto scaling group saying that, hey, auto scaling group, please maintain the group average CPU utilization as 70, 60, your wish. So you need to give the metric. So once you have given this condition to auto scaling group will automatically do everything for you. What does it do? It will make sure to keep the average CPU utilization as 70%. If it is average CPU utilization is going greater than 70%, then automatically what will happen? Scale out will happen. Who will do the scale out? Auto scaling group will do. How does it launch EC2? Based on the launch template. And now auto scaling group got to know that the average CPU utilization is only 40%. And you have 6 machines. Do you need 6 machines now? Scale in will happen automatically. So how many EC2 instances that auto scaling group should have will be decided by the auto scaling group itself. This is now scenario. In olden days, maybe few years back, we have to do it manually, but now everything is automated. I hope that is clear. Okay. Now let's move to today's topic. So there are different types of IPs, Nana. How many types of IPs are there? So you said already 2. Number 1 is public IP. Number 2 is private IP. Tell me third one. Not hybrid IP. Okay. So public or private, next hybrid only, yeah? Okay, no. That was good one. So public IP, private IP, and elastic IP. What is that? There is no hybrid IP concept. That is only on the models, deployment models. Remember, public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud. But we are talking about the IPs. So public IP, private IP. What's the last one? Elastic IP. Say that. What are the three? Yes. Online guys, please put it in the chat. So number one, public IP. Number two, private IP. And number three, it is elastic IP. In shortcut, call it as EIP. What is that? EIP. So let us talk about these IPs. So instead of talking about this IP address, I mean different types of IPs, what I do is I'll give you a real-time scenario so that you'll understand easily by the diagram. So this is AWS Nana. Okay. And you are here with the laptop. Okay. This is a laptop. Laptop. Whose laptop? Huh? JK I used yesterday. Arun, huh? Who is Arun? Oh, you are. So this is Arun's laptop. We don't know what is there in his laptop. So let's say he has Arun has the laptop. Okay, see here. You have a laptop and you are connecting to AWS. Yes or no? Have you completed IAM practicals? How are you doing? You opening the browser and you're connecting to AWS. Yes or no? How are you connecting using? Of course. What do you need to have in order to connect? You need to have internet. You need to have internet. Okay. So as we are learning about EC2, what we do is I launch an EC2 instance here. I launch a EC2 instance here. Okay. I have launched the EC2 instance. Now, whenever I launch the EC2 instance, automatically, who will assign the IP address? AWS will assign. Remember, we discussed in the key pair concept. Who will assign the IP address? AWS will assign the IP address. Which IP address will be assigned by default is private IP. Which IP? So which is the IP automatically you get assigned by AWS? Private IP. So can we say private IP is mandatory? Whenever you launch the EC2 instance, automatically you will get the IP address. What IP address is that? Private IP. Remember we discussed about NACL's concept? We have a big VPC. Inside the VPC, you create your isolated network. What are those isolated networks called? Subnets. Very good. In that subnet, we launch EC2 instance. So for that subnet, we will give the range. Based on the range, AWS will assign the IP address for the each and every EC2 instance. Okay. So now don't worry about that. So what type of IP address that you get by default? Private IP. Private IP. Can I say it is mandatory or not? It is mandatory to get the IP address. So can I say it is default? By default, you get it? Default, you get it. Good. Now, question for you is, now you have launched an EC2 instance using AMC, you have launched an EC2 instance. And now, how do you, from your laptop, you need to connect, yes or no? From your laptop, you need to connect to the EC2 instance. Can you tell me, from your laptop, can you connect to this EC2 instance with the private IP? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes, no, maybe. ఎవరు తెలుసా ఎవరు తెలుసా yes or no? Okay. I'll give your personal life example. So EC2 instance in private EC2 instance has what IP? Private IP. Private IP meaning your bedroom. Can someone directly come to your bedroom? Here, no. Huh? In real time, in personal life, no. Here it yes, sir. No, right? So this is a private IP, no? Is it possible to connect? Then what is the purpose of saying private? So this EC2 instance has a private IP. So from internet, can you connect to the private IP directly? No way. So you cannot connect to the EC2 instance using private IP. So which IP address you need to assign then? Public IP you need to assign. Which IP? Public IP. So for the EC2 instance, what is the IP address that you need to assign in order to connect to the internet? Public IP. Public IP. What is by default which IP address that you get for EC2? Private IP. Private IP is mandatory, it will be there. But additionally, I'm saying additionally, if you want to connect from internet, so you need to assign what IP address? Public IP address to the EC2 instance. IP address will be provided by AWS only, but you need to allocate. You need to allocate. You understand? Okay, so then what is the purpose of Elastic IP? Elastic IP is also the same purpose. EIP is also same purpose. If you want to connect from internet, either you can use public IP or Elastic IP. Both works from the internet only. Then what is the main difference between them? Let's say you have assigned the public IP Nana, for the EC2 instance. Let's say you got an IP address called 1234, for example. And Arun is trying to connect to the EC2 instance using the IP address 1234. Now, Pusuk, you stopped and start the EC2 instance. Whenever you stop and start the EC2 instance, your public IP will be changed. Public IP will be changed. Now you got 5678. Arun can connect to the EC2 instance with 1234. Now I need to inform, as AWS engineer, need to inform the customer called Arun, saying that, hey Babu, for EC2 instance, IP address got changed. It is 5678. Then later, maybe after 2, 3 days, 4 days, again, due to some maintenance, due to some problem, you have stopped and said, again, IP address will change. Again, you need to send to Karun saying that IP address has changed. It is 11, 12, 13, 14 now. He'll get frustrated or not? So if you don't want to change the IP address, if you stop and start also, IP address should not change. Then go for Elastic IP. So if you assign Elastic IP is static. Elastic IP is static. Whereas public IP is dynamic. Public IP is dynamic. Elastic IP is static. Do you know the difference now? If you stop and start the EC2 instance, IP address will change. Which one? Public IP. If you stop and start the EC2 instance, IP address will not change. Elastic IP. You understand the difference? So, is it mandatory to have public IP and Elastic IP? Is it mandatory? If at all you want to connect from internet, then only assign. Otherwise, don't assign. Simple as that. I would recommend do not expose your EC2 instance to the public at any cost. But I'm giving you all the subject. I'm giving you all the subject. For that reason, I'm saying all these things. But in general, in real time, would you expose your EC2 instance to the internet? Just in case if you got a very worst requirement, then if customers say that, Arey Babu, I want to log into the EC2 instance, please expose to the internet, no problem. Then what is IP address that you need to assign? Either public IP or Elastic IP. Clear? So those are mandatory or optional? Huh? Optional. So public IP is dynamic and Elastic IP is static. So they both are optional. They both are optional. And by the way, this is VPC. Everything should be within the VPC or not? Do we have a default VPC or not? Okay, so you understood what is public IP, you understood what is Elastic IP, you understood what is private IP. So public IP and Elastic IP can be connected from the internet. So when do we use private IP then? Let's say, for example, I have launched one more EC2 instance here inside it. I have launched one more EC2 instance. And what IP address you will get automatically? Private IP. Now tell me, if these two machines wants to talk to each other, with which IP address they will talk? Huh? Which IP? Yes, with private IP. Within the VPC, if two EC2 instances want to talk to each other, then which IP address would you should use? Private IP. From internet, public IP or elastic IP. Understood now? So, and your see, Arun is in his room, is using internet to connect to the AWS. He's from internet. But generally, where do we will be sitting inside the company or not? He'll be working from the company or not? So this is company. Chiti, can you tell me, from company, how are you connecting to the AWS? Through? Excellent, Macha. Which one through? VPN. Super. Online, everyone. So through VPN. So VPN meaning, from company, can you directly connect to the EC2 instance to the private IPs or not? Do we need public IP? No, VPN is always private to private. So end of the day, this is your real-time scenario where you will be sitting inside the company and connecting to the EC2 instance using the private IPs, not with the public IP. So you will get a very rare scenario. You'll get a very rare scenario that you need to assign the public IP or elastic IP to the EC2 instance. Just in case if you get a requirement that if you want to expose the EC2 instance to internet, then go with either public IP or elastic IP. You know the difference between public IP and elastic IP. Public IP is dynamic, where elastic IP is static. Clearer? How do we use in real time? By seeing this diagram, you can easily understand. Okay, now you can connect using the public IP. Okay. Okay. Elastic IP prefix will be same as public. What is the meaning of prefix here, Syed? Because did I use any word called prefix? So let us hear from him if something. Okay, see here. We have, can EC2 instance has a private IP? Only private IP? Can EC2 instance can have only private IP? Possible, no? Can EC2 instance have private IP plus public IP? Okay. EC2 instance have private IP plus elastic IP? EC2 instance can have public IP plus EIP like this? Huh? That last combination is possible to have. EC2 instance can have private IP, public IP also, elastic IP also. Is it possible to have all three at the same time? Not possible. Private IP you can have, but is it possible to have this combination, public IP and elastic IP? No, either you need to have only one, no. Because public IP is dynamic, elastic IP is static. How can you give both at the same time? So the last scenario is not possible. Okay, na? Clear? Online, is it clear? So Syed, if you're asking elastic IP prefix will be same as public, I didn't answer the question. But the thing is, if you're asking about the IP address classes and ranges, completely both are different. Yeah. So this public IP and elastic IP, okay, yeah. So this public IP and elastic IP, these IP addresses will be provided by whom? AWS. Do we need to worry about it? No. Automatically, AWS will provide randomly the IP address. Those are public, like 121 series, 5 series. There is no series at all. So whatever the series that it is work for the public IP, they will assign it. Clear enough? So let me go ahead and write all the things that what we have learned. So write down. So public IP, which can be accessed from internet. Public IP is optional or mandatory? Public IP is optional. Public IP is dynamic or static? Dynamic. So that meaning if you stop and start the EC2 IP address will change. If you stop and start the EC2 instance, public IP will be changed. Who will assign this IP address? AWS assign the IP address. So private IP, which cannot be accessed from internet. So private IP is mandatory or not? Private IP is mandatory. Private IP is mandatory. So guys, private IPs are mostly static only. Private IP is also static. If you stop and start also, private IPs will not change. So private IPs are mostly static. So when do you use private IP? Within the VPC and through VPN. Yes or no? So elastic IP. Can I say it is same as public IP? But it is static. Yes or no? Same as public IP, but EIP is static. So if you stop and start the EC2 instance, what will happen? If you stop and start the EC2 instance, EIP will not change. It is here. Generally, no one will give the static IPs. Remember, because static IPs are costlier and it's very rare to give. No one will give. Let's say you have internet in your home, no? Who will provide the IP address to your laptop? Your internet provider only, no? So that IP address is dynamic or statica? Dynamic. Maybe after a few days, IP address will be changed. No one will give the static IPs because static IPs is very rare and it's very scarcity. That meaning very rare to give. It's very expensive also. For that also, AWS is giving you 5 elastic IPs free. How many elastic IPs are free? 5 EIPs are free. Even though it is expensive and costly, 5 EIPs are free. But there is a condition. Let's say you have created one elastic IP and you're not using, elastic IP is just lying over there, thinking that it is free. Is it free if you're not using it? AWS says that, Babu, it will be charged. You create a elastic IP, make sure that you assign it to the EC2 instance. If you're not using it, then I'll charge you. Because EIPs are very rare, I will not give, but don't waste it. The meaning, don't keep it ideal. So even though if it is less than 5 and the elastic IPs, if you are not associating to any EC2 instance, is it free or billable? It is billable. And if you associate to any EC2 instance, then it is free. If it is just lying over there, if you're not using it, just created and not using it, then billable. So how many EIPs are free here, Nana? 5 EIPs are free. Sir, can you please give any easy example to remember in which case IP will change, public versus elastic? In which case IP address will change? In which case IP address will change? Stop and start, simple. If you stop and start the EC2 instance, IP address will change. Simple as that. For which one? Public IP. Public IP address will change. Elastic IP meaning static. If you want to remember, elastic meaning static. Elastic meaning static. So public IP meaning dynamic. So you have to just remember that. Okay. I didn't find any nasty joke for that yet. So public IP is dynamic, elastic IP is static. Remember that. EAP has to be associated to the EC2 instance because this question has not been asked by anyone till now to how to remember this because that's the reason maybe I didn't found any example for that. Kavya, try to remember, Nana. Public IP meaning dynamic, elastic meaning static, just in case. Public Public. Public meaning it's public, no? So public, it is any guaranteed? No, then it is called dynamic. Remember that. Elastic meaning static. Okay, so if you have not associated or not used EIP to any instance, it will be charged. Correct, Kavya, correct. If those EIPs are below 5 also, don't keep it ideal. Ideal EIPs are billable. So as per yesterday's client example, can we give to client elastic bill? Good question, Hari Prasad. But for load balancer, he was referring to yesterday's example. Remember, customer was asking for the static IP for the load balancer. Is it possible for us to provide IP address to the load balancer? No, because load balancer is a service, not a server. For that reason, I was teaching you since starting. Load balancer is a service, not a server. If it is server, you can assign the elastic IP. It is a service, no. Is it possible to assign elastic IP? No. Okay, Hari Prasad. But good relation. Online, is this clear till here, everyone? Okay. Now, let us talk about here metadata. What is generally metadata? So data about data concept is there since our childhood, right? So whenever someone asks metadata, simply we'll say data about data. But here the concept here is instance metadata. Then what is this instance data metadata meaning? Data about instance. Data about instance is called instance metadata. For example, who has launched the machine, when has launched, which key pair, which VPC, which security group, which volumes are there, what is the IP address of it, what is the public IP, what is the private IP, all the entire information will come as a metadata. So what is instance metadata? Data about EC2 instance. Now, from console, if you launch an EC2 instance, and if you select one of the EC2 instance, there is a section called detail section. What section is that? Detail. If you click on detail, all metadata will be there. So from console, from where do you get all the metadata? Which section is that? Detail section. Which section is that? Detail section. So I'll write here. From console, you get the instance information from which section? Details section. That is from console. But if I want to get to know the instance details from CLI, there are two ways to access AWS. One is console access, another one is programmatic. Programmatic is nothing but CLI. So from console, how do you get the EC2 instance metadata information? From which section is that? Detail section. Through CLI also we should know, no? Through command line, how do we get the instance information? And you need to follow one URL, and that is Pakka certification question. I'll write, see here. From CLI, follow the below URL. I'll hypnotize you. This URL, I'll inject in your brains, okay? So say with me, everyone, online, offline, everyone, okay? So the URL will be like the http:// that is regular for everything. 169.254, 169.254 / latest / meta minus data. This is the URL to get the information. See me and listen carefully and repeat it with me. What is IP address? 169.254. Say that. 169.254 again 169.254 slash latest slash meta minus data. One more time. 169.254 169.254 slash latest slash meta minus data. Now you tell me. One more time. That's done. So this is a URL that you should be using it in order to get the information from of the EC2 instance from the CLI. So now I'm writing. You tell me. I'll write. Tell me. HTTP colon slash slash 169 254 169 254 slash latest slash that's this is the URL. Okay, this one you should be using in the CLI in order to get the information. And remember, and this one, will you use this from the console or from the CLI? Use this inside EC2 instance only on CLI. Super. I hope online. Yes. Syed, you have put only 2 segments of IP address. So you need to put one more time. 169.254, 169.254. IP address is 4 segments, no? Put it again. Sarita, Jayalakshmi, Syed, Usha, everyone. Nitish put, say yes. HTTP colon slash slash 169.254, 169.254 slash latest slash meta minus data. This is Pakka certification question. In certification question, what they do is they will replace the IP address. They will say 254.169 in the options. And they will say metadata. They will remove minus. And they will say metadata after that's latest. No, it is latest slash meta minus data. Very good. Now, let's talk about another very important concept, which is called user data. What is that? Whose data? Who's user here? You only. Whose data is this now? User's data. So what is this user data? We'll see. Let's say, for example, you want to do some set of actions. Okay, let me take a very layman language. You want to install something. What you want to install? Let's say, for example, let's say Tomcat or any software. So what you do is, let's say, for example, you want to install Tomcat, for example. Now, user data meaning here, you need to write a script. What you need to do, write script. For Linux machines, you need to write shell script. What script? Shell script. Have you heard about shell script? At least heard about shell script? So shell script is a script where you can use that in your Linux machines. So what you need to do is, generally, if you want to install Tomcat, how do? You launch EC2 instance. After that, you log into EC2 instance. Go inside that and then double click, install everything. That's how we do. Yes or no, generally. Instead of this, I'll write the small shell script to install Tomcat. And I'll put it in user data. User data is a text box. How many steps are there to launch EC2 instance? 7 steps. In one of the step is user data. In one of the step, user data is there and box will be there. There you need to put the script. And what will happen if you put the script and click on launch? This script will be executed in the boot time. In the what time? EC2 instance will boot and then come up, no? So this script will be executed in the boot time and automatically Tomcat will be installed. By the time the machine is ready, your Tomcat is also ready. Do you need to install manually? No. Put it in the user data, the script, and whatever you put it in the script will be executed in the boot time. And that is why user data, we call it as bootstrap script. What is that? Bootstrap script. What is that? Bootstrap script. Understood? So user data meaning bootstrap script. Bootstrap script. Bootstrap. Understood? So this script will be executed at the time of launching the EC2 instance. Yes or no? Now I'm giving. So this user data will execute every time or only one time? I'll give an answer. See. Now you put user data to install Tomcat. You will launch EC2 instance and Tomcat is installed. Again, you stop and start the EC2. User data will execute again. Huh? No, because Tomcat is already installed. No. Is there any does it make any sense to install to run user data again? So user data will execute only for the first time of launching the EC2 instance. Understood? Because user data is already executed, no? Understood? If then it's gone. If you terminate, it's gone. If you whenever you're launching new instances, user data will be executed only for the first time. Okay. So I'll write here the script which you provide will run at the boot time of the EC2 instance. Can I say user data will run only for the first time? User data will run only for the very first time of launching EC2 instance. It will not, Kavya. Only first time. And if it is Linux machine, what script that you use? Shell script. If it is Windows, then you can use something called PowerShell. Which one? PowerShell. Is it clear online till here? Everyone clear? Online, is this clear? Nice. So, how many steps are there to launch an EC2 instance? 7 steps, 7 steps. So, time has come to reveal that 7 step, right? So, the 7 steps, right? So, the topic is here, the 7 steps. Actually, that's not a topic, but I'm just putting it, the 7 steps. Okay. So, you know very well that there are 7 steps to launch an EC2 instance. See, in starting days of AWS, I'm meaning maybe 1 year back, there are literally 7 steps. First step, second step, third step, fourth, like this. Literally, how many steps? 7 steps. Now, AWS has renewing his console, enhancing the console. They are changing the look and feel. They're changing the look and feel of the Amazon Management Console. Now, as you are new people, you didn't know the old console. You are accessing which console? New console. So we are the one from day one. So I know all the consoles that they have used till now. Old console. We are favorite of old console. Now we are moving to new, right? So in this new console, all these 7 steps, they have made it as 1 step. But all the 7 steps will be only in 1 page only. But 7 steps are there. But everything is in only 1 page. So let us see what are those 7 steps. And let us see whether we have learned those or not. So the first step here is, one of the step is, we need to select AMI. So when you're launching the EC2 instance, we need to select an AMI or not? What is an image? Copy of the OS or template of the OS is called an image. So either need to select the Linux image or you need to select a Windows image. If it is Linux, which operating system? Red Hat, we need to. So you need to select the AMI. And then second step is select instance type. Select which is the instance type that we should be selecting in. T2. Oh, by the way, just now I heard Not Riyaz sir batch students. Baju wale. That meaning other batch, other trainers, students. You know how much bill they got? 4 lakhs. Just now I heard. So just remember, we are going step by step, what to click, what not to click, which is billable, which is not billable, everything. Remember, I have been teaching these things many, many years, and none of my students have got more than 200 rupees bill till now. That is maximum, but no one will get 200 also. If you follow me, if you follow me, no bill. If you are a sugar patient, get ready for the bill. Sugar patients meaning what? Don't take me wrong. Sugar patient meaning very enthusiastic, high excitement people. I'll say, Are Babu, click this only. Then they'll say, why not that one? Oh, you click. No problem. You click the bill also. Right? So remember, we will cover everything, but just follow me. Don't get scared. Nothing will happen. Okay. So I don't know who is that student. I don't know what did he did or what she did. She, not he. What she did, we don't know. But the thing is, it happened. But for you, it will not happen. Okay. Just follow me. You need to follow me. If you follow me, nothing will happen. Okay. So T2 micro, which is the instance type that we should be using it? T2 micro. She might be using T2 X large, and she might have not terminated and it is running. Yes or no? Okay. So next step is here, instance configuration. What is it, Nana? Configurations. Instance configuration means this contain all the information. That meaning how many instances that you want to launch. How many instances that you want to launch, whether you want to assign the public IP or not. Yes or no, guys? So whether you want to assign the public IP or not, whether you want to put the user data or not. So all configurations will come into this. All configurations. Okay. The next one here is, next is select storage. Storage meaning here, what storage meaning here? Super. EBS volumes. There are, so by default, you will get a volume. What volume is that? Huh? Huh? When you launch the EC2 instance, you will get a default volume. What volume is that? Root volume. Root. How much size? 30 GB. Or for Linux, it is 8 or 10 GB. If possible, can you add additional volumes also? Yeah. What is the default volume type? Default volume type? GP2. Default volume type? GP2. Okay, so that is one of the step. And next step here is select security group. Which security group we should be using it? Excellent. Which one? Default security group, we should be using it. And the next here is, we call something called add tags. Add tags. So you need to give the tag name, no? Like a name is equal to value. Give a value, like name is equal to web server. You can give some name. And then attach PEM file. What's that? Do you remember PEM file? Key pair. So you need to give the key pair. So if but do we have any default key pair? No, we need to create it. After that, use it. Do we need to create every time? No, if you create one time, you can use that key for multiple EC2 instances. And finally, review it and then launch. And finally, these are the 7 steps. So in order to complete this, we took these many days, deeper level of EC2 instance, EC2 service. Is it clear till here, everyone? So technically, we are done on EC2. Congratulations. Okay, very nice. So theoretically we are done, but I told you that I would like to give you always extra. You want extra? Little bit advanced topic. So the next advanced topic is there, but you need to think little bit more advanced. Okay, little bit advanced. Actually, this topic is not required, but I'm just giving it for free. No, I'm just joking. Okay. So, uh, 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 monthly. So, but I would recommend not to do that again. That's sugar patients. Example. So don't launch the EC2 instance until I say, okay, maybe from uh, from tomorrow, and from tomorrow we'll start practicals. From tomorrow only, because we are done with EC2 theory, no. So from tomorrow we'll start the practicals, and you will get a lot of practicals. Don't worry. So, but that's what. If you're, I hope I understood that you are very confident to launch an EC2, but let's wait, because of this only unnecessary will get bills. Because I'll tell you what to do, what not to do, no. Yeah, but that is per month. Per month. Per how many hours are free per month? 7 out of 750, 30 hours got completed here. There's no problem. But use T2 micro only, no? Then that is. If you Pusuk use T2 small, then gone. Okay. What is this? Load balancer. Okay. Is it? I'm giving one real time scenario for you. ELB. Is it? Okay. I'm asking one question, guys. Which is the service in AWS will get hit first? Excellent. Super, yeah. Online, answer that. Which one? There is a question, sir. If you don't pay the bill, what will happen? If you don't pay current bill, what will happen? What will happen? Connection will get, yeah, disconnected. Correct? Here also, your account will be suspended. You cannot able to log in or do anything. And you have given address and you have card details, right? Nothing will happen. But remember, I'm not scaring you. You have to be very confident while doing the practicals. Nothing will happen. But extraordinary people will get these kind of extraordinary things. Okay. Okay, which is the service will hit first? Route 53, no? Okay, see here. Guys, see here, very important. See here, I'm asking you a question here. The person is in US. Where, Nana? And what is our website name? http://boom.com. So whenever he hit boom.com in US, all the way he's getting connected to our, okay, this is Mumbai region. Which region is this? Mumbai. So all the way he's getting connected to these load balancers to Mumbai. Tell me, he'll have a high latency or low latency? Hmm? Which latency? High latency. Because he's using his normal internet. Yes or no? He's using his normal internet. Why we have high latency? Meaning there is something called hops. What is that? Hop. What is hop? Hop, jumping, hop, right? So basically, if you want to connect, let's say from US, he's connecting to Mumbai, no? So the request from his laptop, it will go to internet provider, internet provide to some other place, some other to some other place. From there, it will get routed. From there, it will routed. So like this, he'll have few hops or more hops. The more number of hops that you get, that much bad performance that you get, because it has to hop all these things, no? It has to hop all the entire place. For that reason, you will get a high latency. Okay. How to resolve this? Super. Excellent. Online people, what is the solution for this? How to resolve this? we have edge location concept. Remember, what service is that? CloudFront. What service is that? Very proud of you guys. Very proud. Okay, so now every region will have the edge location or not? So this is edge location. And the US guy will get connected to the edge location. And edge location will get connected to the Mumbai region. So this is AWS. So you'll have a low latency or high latency? Low latency. You'll have obviously low latency. And what network is this? AWS internet or AWS network? It using what is that AWS network called? What is that? Uh-huh. In edge location, the content is delivered using what network? CDN, content delivery network. That content delivery network is AWS network, no? That's why it will be faster. This one we know this. Okay. Do you remember? Yesterday I gave one example that customer is asking for the IP address of our website boom.com. So is it possible to give the IP address of our load balancer? No. For this requirement, AWS came up with a concept called Global Accelerator. What's that? Global Accelerator here. GA. What is that? GA. Global Accelerator. So this global accelerator, okay, before that, I want to say something called Unicast IP. What is that? Unicast IP, Anycast IP. What? There are two types of IPs here. What are those? Unicast, Anycast IP. Say that. Unicast IP, Anycast. Unicast IP meaning one server holds one IP address. Whereas Anycast meaning, don't ask me which cast. So Anycast IP meaning here, all servers holds the same IP address. All servers host the same IP address. So the concept of global accelerator here is I'm just putting the picture here. Okay. So the user is here. Okay. The user is here. So he will be putting boom.com. He will be putting boom.com. So first it will go to the global accelerator. Where Nana? Global accelerator. So global accelerator support two static IPs. Which one? Two static IPs. Those are Anycast IP. What are those? Anycast IP meaning what? All servers holds the same IP address. All server holds same IP address. So that meaning this global accelerator will provide two static IPs. Those two static IPs are Anycast only. So I told you, customer is asking for the IP address. You can give those two IP address to the customer. He can put it in the firewall. And this global accelerator will be connected to the load balancer in the backend. And why we call it as Anycast here, meaning in the backend, AWS has so many servers across the world. This global accelerator will, and all these servers will have the different IP or same IP? Same IP. And load balance, this global accelerator, whichever is near, it will get connected and you'll send it to the load balancer in the backend. That's why it call it as global accelerator. What is accelerator meaning? Accelerator, accelerator. You want to speed up, what do? You will increase the accelerator, no? So globally, it will increase the performance of your website. So here it will also fix your problem. What problem? IP address problem. Remember yesterday I told you the IP address problem? Is it possible to give the load balancer IP address? No. Now which IP address we can provide? Global accelerator IP address we can provide because global accelerator is attached to load balancer. No, Ibrahim, you cannot. You understand the concept of global accelerator? And this global accelerator is using in the backend edge location again. Global accelerator is using what Nana? Edge location. And for that reason, and global accelerator supports how many static IPs? two static IPs. Two static IPs. And we have the customer here. Is the customer here. So customer has the firewall. So can I give global accelerator IP address to the firewall or not? So these global accelerator IP address will be given here, and this will get connected to the global accelerator. Global accelerator will be connected to the nearest load balancer, and it will get connected to the load balancer. And the entire backend they are using AWS internal network. That means you will get a high performance or not, and you will get a low latency also. So if you want to increase the performance globally, then go for the global accelerator concept. And with this concept, you will get the static IPs also. Can you provide the IP address to the static IP address to your customers for the firewall? Previously, it was not there when I was working. This is the latestly came global. And by the way, this global accelerator is not free. It is billable, $18 per month. And that too, you no need to do anything. Just a matter of checkbox. There will be something called global accelerator. You want checkbox. Automatically, this global accelerator will be created, and global accelerator is attached to whom? Load balancer. Clear? Online, is this clear? Everyone clear? So this is a little bit advanced topic. So, but I'll write everything for you here. Write down, guys. Leverage the AWS internal network to route here to the coffee. Leverage the AWS internal network to route your application. And how many IP addresses it will give, Nana? How many IP addresses it will give? Those are unicast or anycast? To anycast IPs are created for your application. The anycast IP sends traffic directly to the edge location. The edge locations sends traffic to applications. So later also, if you read it, I'm writing it here. Kavya, I'm writing it. Hold on. So guys, CloudFront will cache. Global Accelerator will cache? No. But Global Accelerator will use edge location in the backend to route to the nearest traffic, to the nearest servers. But CloudFront will cache. Global Accelerator will not cache. Remember, that's a major difference. And CloudFront will give any static IPs? No. Who will give the static IPs? Global Accelerator will give the static IPs. How many? 2. Unicast, anycast. So you can do the combination of CloudFront and then Global Accelerator. So both are same or different? Different. Global Accelerator is different. CloudFront is different. Both will leverage the AWS internet to speed up your application. But Global Accelerator will give 2 static IPs so that you can use it in your customer firewall. CloudFront will not give. Okay. Two IPs can be whitelisted. And this Global Accelerator and CloudFront will help you for any kind of attacks also. You have cyber attacks, online cyber attacks are there, no? Malicious traffic, viruses, right? So, and have you heard about recently something called DDoS? Just go to internet later and check about DDoS attack. So DDoS attacks, all these things, based SQL injections, HTTP floodings. So basically your application will be hacked easily using the URL. So, but if you use this Global Accelerator and CloudFront concept, both, AWS is giving a service called WAF. What is that? Web Application Firewall. What is that? There is a service called AWS Shield. What is that? AWS Shield. What does Shield use for? For protection, no? So here also there is a service called AWS Shield, which will help to protect all kind of cyber attacks. And in AWS Sheet, we have something called WAF. What is WAF? Yes, through WAF. So AWS Shield service contains WAF, Web Application Firewall. I'll write this also for you. So they both use the AWS global network and its edge locations around the world. Both services are integrated with AWS Shield or for DDoS protection. So CloudFront, it improves performance for both cache. Guys, do you remember this CloudFront cache only static data, dynamic data, or both? So this CloudFront will cache. What does the CloudFront will do? Edge locations, what edge locations will do? It will cache, no? Does it cache only static data, na? Or does it cache only dynamic data, na? Or it will cache both? Answer is both. That's a certification question, remember. So it will cache dynamic and static content will be cached. Content is served from edge locations. Whereas here, global accelerator. What is it is? It improves performance for a wide range of applications across the world. White list the IPs in customer network. Okay. Online, is this clear? Everyone understood? So this is an extra topic called Global Accelerator, recently got introduced, and this is not free. GA is, it's billable. Just in case if you want to increase the performance globally and if you want to have the static IP addresses, then you can use this global accelerator. And it is not any big range of lab there, nothing. When you're creating a load balancer, it will ask, Babu, you need global accelerator or not? If you go and check, give the name, ultimately global accelerator will be created. We don't need to do anything, but you need to know the concept. So does the global accelerators use edge locations also in the backend? Yes or no? Answer is yes. And global accelerator supports how many IPs? 2 IPs. What are those? Unicast or Anycast? Anycast IPs. Clear? That is one of the cyber attacks. DDoS. DDoS is one of the kind of virus, one of the attack. So just put it in Google, you'll get to know. Actually, we are not learning here all the ethical hacking, cyber DDoS attack. It is a distributed denial of service. It's an attack. Okay. Attack is designed to force a website, computer, or online service to go offline. So I told you, this is accomplished by flooding the target with this is called HTTP flooding. I told you just now HTTP flooding. HTTP flooding meaning that this virus will send millions of requests per second, duplicate, thinking that our load balancer is thinking that actual traffic is coming, but that will help to break the load balancer in our site. That is called here DDoS. Okay. So again, Congratulations. We are done with EC2 theory. So from tomorrow onwards, we'll be jumping into the practicals. Okay, na? Any questions online? If not, take the screenshots. Guys, you have 1 second. You have a announcement from mentors. 1 second.
Hi guys, good evening. We are the mentors of AWS. We are providing you lab facility. Naresh IT is providing you lab facilities in the third floor. Some students are attending the lab. Some students are still not coming to lab. You have been given the task. Now the theory is going on. When the practicals will start, task will be there. Come to lab, practice, whatever doubts are there, clear with us. Okay. The lab timings are from morning 9 a.m. to evening 7:30 p.m. You can come to lab anytime. Wi-Fi facility is there. You have to bring your own laptops. And for online students, the online lab session will be from morning 9 a.m. to afternoon 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And for NRI students, we have a special lab session evening 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Okay. Use the lab facilities properly. Thank you.
Okay. So from tomorrow, practicals will be started, correct? So you will just try to finish the practicals and you will get help from the mentors also. Okay. Take the screenshot, guys. And second one. And the last. What is that? Sir, can you please change the spelling error for any cast on right hand side where, oh, okay. Thank you, Kavya. Second, huh? Superb. Okay. So guys, what my advice is for tomorrow, we know we'll start the practicals. And please go through all the concepts of EC2. Anyways, you remember very well, I know, but still it's good to go from day one of EC2 to till now. Like remember, we discussed from pricing models, instance types, EBS volumes, snapshots, images, security groups, and all these things. Just revise it a little bit. You know to go deeper also. Just go through it. Everything you will get to know automatically. So because from tomorrow we'll go to and do the practicals, no? So it'll be really helpful for you to, it'll be easy for the practicals as well. Just go through it once. Okay. Can I get a final CC for today, please, online? CC with smile. Great. So that is all, guys, for today. And I'll see you tomorrow with the practicals of EC2. Until then, take care. Bye bye. Have a nice day. See you tomorrow. Good night.